Hi, I'm Rob Cram, and today we're taking a look at Subnautica on the PC. And basically I'm just going to give you some rough pointers when you first start the game, especially if you're jumping in playing the Oculus Rift version. Well, they're pretty much the same as the normal 2D version, but you're kind of thrust into an unknown world with little guidance as to what you're supposed to do. So when you first join in the game, you're in this kind of escape pod. Your ship's crash landed, and you kind of looks like, well, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to repair these items on the craft? It says use a welder, and so you sort of go into the fabricator, which is your main kind of item generator, and see if you can find the welder. But you discover that the tools required to build a welder are kind of out of your reach at the start of the game. So first things first, go into your inventory. Now you've got to create these O2 tanks to give you more air to breathe. This is quite simple. All you have to do is really jump out and find some titanium, which you can grab from debris that's scattered about, or you can break certain coloured rocks that you'll see. I'll show you those because that's quite important. I think I've pretty much taken a lot of the debris that's scattered around this area here, so if you just bear with me while I swim somewhere else. So you'll see kind of like wreckages like this, and you'll see these large chunks here. So there is metal salvage. So you'll pick that up, you'll take it back to your pod, and you'll convert that into titanium, which you can then convert into O2 tanks, which give you a bit more breathing room. Now obviously you can see the inventory, there's only so much you can carry, and each tank takes 4 slots, so you've got to be mindful of that. So you'll be swimming around, looking around, and collecting items that you need. Obviously you'll use a fabricator to see what items you need, and then you'll hunt around looking for them. But I will say the first things you really need to do when you start the game is focus on your character. So first of all, get these O2 tanks by getting the metal salvage. So I'll show you how you can do that. So you go to resources, basics, and then you'll just create the titanium from the metal salvage. It always tells you what items you need, and there you go, it goes into your inventory, and that's sorted. And then you'll go to your equipment, and you can see here that there's flippers that you need, so you'll need to get the silicone rubber. A radiation suit is very handy, and these extra items as well that you can construct. So the radiation suit is quite vital because there's a lot of radiation in the water, and you'll suddenly watch your health deplete, and you'll wonder why that's happening, and that's because the radiation levels in the water are too high. I am actually not playing in the survival mode. I think it's probably better to do it in the freedom mode first, get a feel of things, and then tackle the survival mode afterwards. The survival mode basically means you've got to be mindful of your hunger levels and your health a bit more, so you're gonna have to find food and stuff like that, which is an extra layer to contend with, especially if you're just starting the game. So a bit more relaxed atmosphere with the freedom mode, just to give you an idea of the mechanics. So what you would have done is you would have got the flippers, they help with your speed. You would have got a radiation suit together from constructing the parts. Now you can ignore that heat signature which appears early on. I spent great lengths trying to get down to it by constructing pipes leading hundreds of meters below the surface to find an abandoned and destroyed kind of base. But your ultimate goal really at the beginning of the game, once you've kind of found your feet, is to construct your very own base. Now to do this, you really need to get the scanner, this item here. I mean, you can build a knife, that's useful, but I haven't really found much use for it. But the scanner is extremely important, and you can build that quite easily early on. Basically, with the scanner, as you can see, the debris and the fish and creatures, you can actually scan those, which will give you more blueprints, which you can then use to construct other items. So with the scanner, if you want any chance of building things like solar panels to power a station that you build, then you'll need to get the scanner, and you'll need to scan these kind of cube objects that you'll find scattered about. Let's see if I can find one. Let me just grab some air. So once you've got your scanner, and once you've actually scanned some stuff, then the second main object that you really need to construct is the I can't remember what they call this tool. It's it's a habitat builder. Right, now this allows you to then construct items. If I click there, you can then start building all of these kind of parts of your base, and they're very easy to build. You only need things like glass and titanium. Titanium is a resource that is widely available. Right, but where was I? I was going to try and find you a cube object, which is crucial early on in the game for you grabbing extra blueprints. I discovered this kind of late in the game and realised that they were actually key to success. No, that's my old base I had here. Right, well, let's just get some air from this. We'll continue. So as you can see there's the beginnings of my base. I will show you that in a moment. Firstly, let's try and find an object that can be scanned. And I mean, if you want things like submersible vehicles and stuff like that, then you do need to start scanning these items. I think there is one just over there. Right, that's what we're looking for. So you'll find quite a lot of these. I mean, I've already scanned a number of them. So you'll whip out your scanner. It's a battery charger fragment, so we'll scan that. And you can see the progress towards the getting that. So you'll have to find a few of those. Right, so that's the scanning. That's how you do it. And you can scan creatures as well, although they tend to move out of the way. And you can see there's two more boxes there, so let's quickly scan those. So these are all very useful stuff. The blueprints that you get help you progress the game. Right. Need to be mindful of my air supply. Right, I need to find some rocks to show you, because this is also an important part of the game which is not necessarily obvious right away. Something that you can quite easily miss. Now obviously it's a good tip to avoid some of those larger fish that are swimming around. They can cause you damage. But it's not hard to do so. Right, get some air. You can always see the pod. Right, let's go. So I'm going to have to go quite deep here. Let's see if we can find one of the rocks that you can break. So if you're playing survival, then obviously you'll need to catch these fish for food, and you'll need to get some water as well. Obviously you can't drink the seawater. I hope I'm not going to get into a world of hurt here. Let's just keep looking at some pretty dangerous creatures around here. Another quick tip as well, which is not always immediately obvious. It took me a while to figure this out also. You swim a lot faster if you don't have anything equipped. So there was me swimming around with my knife constantly equipped, or my flashlight, and you can see there it just slows you down. You're effectively swimming with one hand. So you might feel like you're in defense mode, but it slows you down quite a lot. Oops, and I'm now sort of getting into dangerous territory here. And it's gone dark. That's another thing. There's a day and night cycle.
Caution, 30 seconds of oxygen remaining.
And I'm not paying attention to my oxygen levels. I think the problem I've got here is that I've pretty much
10 seconds of oxygen.
Removed all the resources from this area. This is not looking good. Absolutely rubbish. I was too busy not looking at my oxygen, and you will lose quite a bit of progress if you haven't saved the game. Well, at least you now know what happens when you die. I'm trying to get this exchange the power source. Right. Right, let's just get on. Let's crack on here. Right, forget the torch for now. Right, let's try and find these rocks. This is taking longer than I anticipated, but as I said, unfortunately I've drained a lot of the resources from this area. There's got to be one somewhere that I've missed. I mean, they'll be quite plentiful when you first start the game. You'll drop down into the water and you'll see these discoloured rocks. Right, here's one here. Okay. So you'll see these kind of rocks. They kind of stand out. And then you can just break them. And they give you things like copper, silver, gold even. And that's where you're going to get most of your metal resources from, those breakable rocks. Right, now that that's out of the way, let's get to the real business now. So you've found your feet. It might take you a few hours to get there. You found your feet, and you're now sort of left with, well, what do I do next in this game? Aside from exploring further and deeper. And there are some pretty cool places to explore. As I said, that heat signature is quite a interesting area to explore, and it's very deep. You'll see different sort of life forms as well whilst you're there. So let's try and find my base. You can see it just down there. Now this is the second base that I've created. The first base I didn't pay attention to a thing called hull integrity. I just plonked the items down in the middle of the sand here and hoped for the best, and then eventually I started getting all these leaks and then hull breaches, and it became completely flooded with water and non-usable, until I discovered that really you should be laying these platforms. And if I go to the correct tool, it's a foundation. You must build those first, basically. Build those first and then put your objects on top of it. So the first thing you'll need to actually get it working is a solar panel or some other kind of power source. If you don't have one of those, then it's pretty much useless and you won't get any oxygen. So building one of those, I had to find the blueprints by scanning those crates that I showed you earlier. So let's go inside.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
So now I've got this, I can sort of build another base, ignoring the original base that's on the surface. And I can build exactly the same sort of tools in here. I've even got myself a new locker to store items. Made a window. And you can just keep adding on to it as long as you don't go over the limit of your hull integrity. So this is a very basic starting block for my sort of home. I can add all sorts of objects. If you just look at those, I can add an aquarium, lockers, and there's other stuff you can find out there. I mean, I found a desk that I scanned. There you go, desk, trash can. So there's other stuff that you can do. So let's just put a trash can right there. And if you obviously if you're not happy with anything, you can then just deconstruct it and you'll get the same materials back, which is quite useful. So in here I'm pretty safe, and obviously you can actually build quite a big base as long as you take into consideration the hull integrity. So let's see how I can build onto my current base. So we've got here a glass corridor going into two separate areas. So what I was going to build here was another main multi-purpose room which attaches onto there. You can rotate it and put it in the right place. We'll get that constructed. Right, I've kind of constructed it with me half inside it, which is not very good. And I can just deconstruct that. But it's not fully on the platform really, is it? So I need to actually build more foundations. So we'll just do that. It's quite easy to do. Just plonk that there. And we build another one here as well. And this basically helps your hull integrity, so you're not going to get breaches so readily. You do have to be mindful of it though. Right, let's not be inside it this time. So we'll put that there. What I could do is build another hatch here to get inside, but I'm going to leave that for now. So let's go back inside. So you can see it sort of beginning to form here. It's looking pretty cool. Right, we're in. Let's see our new room that we've made. And here we go, another empty room. So I can put stuff in here that I've... let's have a look if there's anything else I can build. Right, I need glass to build an aquarium. So to find glass, I need to get some quartz. So let's go back outside. Now, quartz is quite a plentiful resource. It's the crystal-like objects that you see. But again, I've pretty much depleted everything in this location, so I'm having to venture a bit further out to find it. But I mean, the good thing is once you've got your base there set up, and it could just be just the one room, you're then free to progress further and build more bases to cover more of the map. But it's also a good place for air for stocking up without having to go to the surface. And you know, I said that quartz is quite plentiful, and I'm not found any here. Great. Typical, huh? Now I'm being attacked. Now this here's salt. It's not quartz. It looks quite similar. I think there might be some down there. Yes, there is. Well, there's quite a lot down here, so let me just get some air first. I'm not going to make the same mistake twice. Right, let's go get it. Now, I've been having a lot of fun with this game, playing it with the Oculus Rift. It's extremely immersive, and due to the design of the Oculus Rift, feeling like you're wearing goggles in the first place, it really kind of fits the style of the game very well. Right, that's the quartz, I believe. Not that you could see it much there. There must be some more around here. Well, this is just typical, isn't it? Well, anyway, you'll know quartz. Quartz is very plentiful when you haven't taken it already. I don't think I'm going to be able to show you building the aquarium because it's going to take too long for me to scout around to try and find more quartz. Let's just check my PDA. So I've got 2 lots of quartz. Maybe that will be enough. Right, let's head back to base. Now I could have put a beacon down so I could find my base easier, but no, I'm all about making it harder for myself here. Just got to be mindful of my oxygen levels. Okay, there's the base. Are we going to get there in time? Now, obviously, if you swim on the surface, you'll swim a lot quicker than you do when you're underwater. I think we should be able to make this in time. And I could sort of build a little hatch on the front here so I can make this as an entrance point as well.
Caution, 30 seconds of oxygen remaining.
Yeah, we got it. Close call.
Emergency, 10 seconds of oxygen remaining.
So let's go into our other room that we've made. Right, let's see if we can make oh, I've got a I need glass. Right, so you needed the quartz to make the glass. So we'll go back to the fabricator. We need 2 glass. Oh my gosh. No, but don't have any more quartz. Okay, it's doomed. But I think you get the point anyway. You can sort of find new items and you can build your little base. You can make it even multi-story as well, which is quite cool. And you can build yourself a little home away from the main pod where you start the game. So I think that gives you a good idea of what you can expect from the sort of opening moments. Well, I say opening, is oh look, here's all the quartz. It's right next to the base. Well, there's one there. So that gives you an idea of what it looks like. So let's quickly show you building the aquarium. Right, that's 3 bits of quartz. More than enough. Right, let's try this again. First of all, we need to get the glass. Then we need to go into our other room. It's a bit barren. We need to select the tool. And we need to build a self-sustaining aquatic. Where are we going to put it? There you go. But it's got no fish in it. But still, that's a nice bit of eye candy. Anyway, right, after all of that, we have an aquarium in one of our rooms. I probably would be able to put fish inside it. There's an option to use. Yeah, so I need to capture some fish first and then I can put them inside. Right, so this is Subnautica Early Access. Obviously the developers are adding more stuff as they go along, but I mean, I think this is definitely worth it. It's in the Steam summer sale at the moment. I think it's in the Oculus sale as well, so you can get it for about £9. And I've really been quite entertained by this. It's kind of eaten away the hours, and I've really enjoyed sort of the progression that I've made here, and it's a very relaxing game to play as well in VR. So if you're on the fence, then yeah, you can't really go wrong for £9. So yeah, I recommend it definitely. Okay, I'm Rob Cram. Thanks for watching. This is Subnautica. We got there in the end, finally.